Welcome back to Charter Local Edition. I'm Brad Pomerance. I'm so excited to introduce you to an author who wrote a book just for me. I'm sure she did. It's called The Neurotic Parent's Guide to College Admissions. But my question for you, J.D. Rothman, is I have a fourth grader and a second grader. Is it time for me to be neurotic?
Well, it's a little late.
A little late?
Yes. You should have started them with an unusual activity when they were maybe 2 or 4.
Kumon for preschool.
Kumon for preschool and the right preschool.
Unbelievable. And I know at some level you're joking, but at some level you're not.
In New York, there is Kumon for preschool, and there's a woman who sued her preschool because they were singing too much and not studying enough.
I heard about that lawsuit. Before us, JD, is what?
These are catalogs or view books, they're called, that come in the mail once your child starts to take the PSAT and think about college. Ironically, many of them talk about environmental studies, even though they need a dedicated forest to send them to you. And unfortunately, kids don't even open mail nowadays.
So I want to get a sense from you of the college landscape. When I was applying to college, kids who were surfing, they went to UC Santa Barbara. Kids who wanted to work with animals, they went to UC Davis. Not so much anymore.
Not so much. Santa Barbara is the new UCLA.
And Davis is?
And Davis is the new Berkeley.
What is happening, and what did you learn in writing this book? Why has it gotten so incredibly competitive?
Well, it started as a blog when we went on an 8-state college tour.
Yeah, you're a TV writer.
I'm a TV writer, and I thought I'd be blogging about restaurants. But instead I heard parents talking about hooks and about 30 AP classes. So if you have a kid that's taking 30 APs, they'll have a 5.8 GPA, and they'll think they're qualified for Berkeley. But guess what? Everyone else has that 5.8. Everyone else has been prepped to death for the SAT or the ACT, and everyone is qualified for Berkeley. So therefore, Davis.
I gotta ask you this. Which parents are more neurotic, Angelenos or New Yorkers?
Well, if you measure, the Neurotic Parent Institute has done a task force.
And you're the chairman of that?
I'm the chairman.
Of course. And I'm an honorary member.
Honorary member. To me, it's a correlation between how much the most expensive test prep is in the city. In LA, it's $9.90 an hour.
An hour.
An hour or a session.
$990 for an SAT.
For a top SAT, when you could probably get a decent guy for maybe $350.
Wait, lawyers at the top law firms are not even charging $9.90 an hour. But that's not the most expensive.
No, in New York, there's someone who's charging $1,200, and it might be a session. It might actually be a 90-minute session.
Who are these people?
Honestly,
who are they?
They're people that got high scores on their SATs, and they want to be actors.
Exactly.
It's a lot better than being a waiter.
It is unbelievable to think. Is it worth being neurotic? I mean, I read your book. I loved it. At times, I wasn't sure if you were serious or joking, which is probably the point.
I was serious about the bedding. I did get very neurotic about how long the sheets were that I bought.
Right.
But everything else I would say is a mix. No, it's not worth being neurotic about anything. That in general, don't worry, because worrying doesn't help. However, if you want your child to go to one of the 17 schools out of the 2,700 great schools we have, you might need to be neurotic.
And so what should we do to plan honestly? Let's say we have a kid in junior high school. We joke that maybe it's too late, but what do we start doing as we look towards 9th grade?
Colleges are looking for a commitment to a passion, which unfortunately means if you have a kid who's in the marching band or on the soccer team, that used to sound really good, editor of the newspaper. Now they want something that sounds a little bit more unusual, unfortunately. So start them on tabla and not piano.
You're amazing. The book is called The Neurotic Parent Guide to College Admission. She's J.D. Rothman. I'm Brad Pomerance. Thanks for joining us on Charter Local Edition. Back to HLN.
Great news! Beginning May 28th, Charter Local Edition is moving from headline news to Charter's original programming channel 101 under the new title Charter California Edition. Tune in at the following times for longer, more in-depth interviews with our elected officials, educators, and community leaders. More content, better information. Learn more about our community, our state, and our future. Charter California Edition with Brad Pomerance. Stay current, California.